Welcome back, nerds and turds and blurry Sony camera, to another live stream repair. Still don't know who the heck these two HomePods with no power belong to. I've searched left, right, up, and down my emails around the time frame that it would have been shipped out. I've searched for the initials, I've searched the address, I searched the tracking number. I basically looked through every single email within the time frame that these were shipped up to this point, and I just about give up. I have no clue who sent these two no-power pods in. The only thing I have to go off is the tracking number, which I'm not going to share that. The initials, WFB, were above the street address in New York. So these came from New York, somewhere in New York, from someone that goes by WFB. I can't figure out who that is. So if these are yours and you're wondering where they are, I got them. No worries. Just shoot me an email saying, hey, those are my HomePods. And yeah, they were sent in the Gen 2 boxes, and it doesn't seem like they've been worked on before. They just don't power on, and I cannot figure it out. Nonetheless, we'll get them fixed, but since we don't know whose they are, or if whoever sent them in even wanted them fixed, we're going to set them to the side and try to maybe think of some other ideas to figure out who they belong to exactly. Otherwise, I expect whoever did send them in to probably reach out to me in a few days asking what's up with their HomePods. Anyways, we do still have quite a few here that need to get fixed in the meantime. I'm hoping whoever sent those two in watches our channel and will shoot us an email and we can get those taken care of or sorted out one way or another. So, we already fixed Avi's HomePod yesterday. We're going to move on to Adam's with no power. There's a couple more after that, and like 5 more that showed up today, I believe. So there was Matt, Paul, and then we've got Eric again. Welcome back. Thankfully, different pod. We've got, I think, let me look up this one. Yeah, alright. We've got Leaf with some death farts. And then we've got Jay. And then Daniel. If I remember correctly, Daniel might have been one that is selling their broken one to us. And then we've got Catherine. That's not how you spell that. Alright, what an overflow. Jeez. That's not even everything. We still have a couple of Apple TVs I want to try to get fixed and working to send back to the fellow with a bunch of Apple TVs. And we had a PlayStation 3 show up recently as well that has what seems to be a fairly common problem with a voltage regulator going out and taking potentially the wireless module with it. Not fun. I've been known to produce my own death parts. Jesus. Oh no. I'm gonna send an email to Adam here and let them know how to watch. Thankfully, they probably won't see that. Well, they probably will see that chat when they join. So it is what it is. Stratting. Nope. That's not how you spell that. There we go. Adam has been emailed. Oh, one other thing that I recently got working. Believe it or not, I don't know if you guys remember, a year and about 6 days ago to this day, we got this Flip Mino HD camera and sent in to us because it wouldn't power on. And the fellow had already tried multiple batteries and kind of got it working, mostly not, but when we got it, we could not get it to power on to save our lives. So what I ended up doing over the past year was trying various things like feeding it direct USB voltage, charging the battery externally and then connecting it, all sorts of stuff. But last night, for whatever reason, an idea clicked, and I was like, oh, I was looking around the board, and I noticed underneath the screen there was silkscreen printing for VBus, USB DP, USB DN. I've been putting enough of these HomePod dongles together to recognize what USB DP and DN mean, as well as VBus. So I figured, what the heck, why don't I just try soldering a USB cable directly to the mother sucker, and while I'm at it, I will feed the battery 4.5 volts straight up, like just straight up on the positive and negative, and plug that into the board. And sure enough, it powered right up. I don't know why this wasn't powering on with multiple different batteries or the other things I tried, but that all in combination worked. It mounted right to my PC, and I was able to back their data up and shoot them a copy of that on a flash drive out in the mail today. So, cool thing is we get to keep the camera. Maybe we will try to figure out a nicer way to deliver power to this and find a fun way to incorporate it in our live streams. I always love a good piece of old but functional tech hanging around and doing a fun little task in the background. Alright, let's get Adam's HomePod opened up here. We got their return address in here, making it very nice and easy. I'll probably still forget and ask for it in an email address from them. Here it is. Alright. Get ourselves all centered. Get myself some water before I forget and die. Okay. So what do we have here? On this day with this pod. We do indeed have no power. So let's get this cracked open and get it fixed. Oh, I also finally updated a couple of the common issues on my main website again. For a while there were a few things we weren't sure of the exact specs on. Some things we didn't even know what part number were or what it was yet, but I was able to add a few things for a couple of the no base issues, and I also added specifications for all of the parts that you use to replace and repair those issues underneath the photos of each of them too. Should make it a little easier for people to figure out what they need to do and stop emailing me with questions technically answered on the website, but to be fair, it is a lot of info to go through and understand if you're not, especially if you haven't worked on these that much. But there we go. Ironically enough, it turns out there is a MOSFET on the amplifier board that has a reputation for failing or blowing up or whatever. I don't know if it's what's causing it or if it's just a result of what's happening, but in any case, not to my surprise, it is a MOSFET manufactured by Diodes Incorporated. Yours truly that made the famous diode that works oh so well. But yeah, if you are into repairing these wonderful speakers and you've been stuck on a couple of the no bass issues and or waiting to hear back from me on what the heck a certain part is, take another peek at the website's no bass issues and I might have filled it in for you. There was also that 22 microfarad cap. That for the longest time I have not been able to find a suitable replacement for that fits all of the requirements. Or at least what I thought. So it's the tiny little black capacitor that tends to that can short out and cause no bass. And it was the 22 microfarad. But what I didn't know was that it only needed to be rated X5R. I kept trying to find an X7R, but what I realized was I could once again go back to the data sheet for the demo/evaluation board that came with basically the same amplifier chip as the HomePod did. It's like the iRoud Amp 18 or some silly name like that. But anyways, I've been able to figure out suitable replacements for a number of parts for these things based on just the data sheet and the bill of materials they provide for that evaluation board. Sure enough, I was able to spot that 22 microfarad capacitor that we've been looking for, and they only use X5R. Makes my job a lot easier. Then we had to figure out the voltage rating, and that one I wasn't too sure about. I mean, I could stick my multimeter on it while it's on and playing something, but I still wasn't too sure. Anyways, I did measure around, I think it was 20 to 22 volts across the capacitor. So what I've decided on is, what did I put on the website? Where's my mouse? There it is. I put no bass, (25 volts or greater). Right, so there, I think it goes like 25 volt and then like 32 or 35 volts from there. You don't want to go with anything less than 25 volt if we're already seeing like 22 across it. Ideally you want to go like much more than that, but it makes me wonder why they only used, I think it was like a 10 volt in the data sheet for another one. Oh yeah, no, it was the filtering capacitors. I saw upwards of 20 volts across those suckers too. And they're only using 10 volt DC caps instead. And only 2 of them at that on the evaluation board. I'm not sure which ones exactly they were using on the HomePod amplifier. They're using 4 of them. We know they're 10 microfarad, but I guess they'd have to be rated for higher than 22 volts if that's what they're seeing. But I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Let me know, and then we can all know. Alright, that amp is out. Let's replace the filters first. Those are the guys that tend to go bad and lead to death farts and other bass issues over time. Unfortunately, all ceramic capacitors naturally decay over time, and they'll all experience the same fate. And given the role they play in the amplifier and the power output of the amplifier, it's rather critical that they're in peak operating condition. So the original ones that Apple used seem to be lasting around 5 to 7 years, at least. The replacements that we're using, we know what we're using, and we know that they're good. We don't know everything. We don't know enough about the amplifier to calculate exactly how long replacements should last, but we can say that they will at least outlast the originals. I'm expecting much more like, at least 10 to 15 years before they start giving you problems again. Which might seem silly at first, like, good grief, why you gotta keep spending money on a speaker? It's a speaker. Well, one thing you gotta remember is it's not just a speaker, and generally the speakers in these things are very, very tough and robust. They don't usually have any problems themselves unless something else gives them a problem, as speakers normally are. It's all the other crap inside of here that's crammed in there that causes problems. You've got an iPhone 6 with an LED display with a built-in power supply that takes power from 100 volts to 240 volts AC, with the 7 tweeters and the big woofer, all in the package they managed to fit it in. With the power output it's got, it's rather impressive. Not like my job doing those filters right there, geez. Sorry, wife was texting me. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything too time sensitive. All right. We've got some fresh filters on there to keep the death parts away. Let's knock out that diode to fix their power problem. Look at that. Another 46K dated diode from yours truly, Diodes Incorporated. Alright. Very nice. How ironic, a component built to protect against failures has in and of itself failed so in such a widespread manner too. Where is my... There we go. Sometimes I just want to... Got the Okay. Wow. Goodness. Everything is falling apart. I can only fix one thing at a time. Please. Wow. Oh, there's one. Where's the last one? Screw it. There we go. Alright, I gotta unplug this, I guess. And then plug it back in. Work. Yes. Nice.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Aren't we all?
I'm having trouble connecting.
Beautiful. Adam has power. Who is next? Let's pick on Matt. Alright. Matt has the flashing volume lights. Oh boy. I am hoping that this one is... I always hope that they're just software restores. That's what everybody always hopes for, right? Personally, even though it would make me more money on the hardware repair, I would much prefer to just plug it in, restore it, just software, and they have no other issues. Because that would be fantastic. We got the Mac. No, you cannot see my screen. Let me hide my stuff. Okay. Stuff is hidden. I still won't really let you see it because I've shown this enough times now, but if we see anything interesting on there, I will definitely show you guys. Anything abnormal. Let me grab a dongle. Actually, yeah, I want my dongle. Get ourselves a couple of screws started in here so that's easier for us. Let's make sure this hasn't seen any funny business. Nope, we are looking good there. All right. First thing is first, I'm curious if it has recovery mode. No, it does not. Well, we'll try it anyways. There it goes. Oh, come on, buddy. Go into restore mode. Is it? It did? Please keep going. Yes. I don't like how long it's waiting for the NAND, though. No bueno. That is a NAND problem. Alright. I will try it a couple more times after this stream, but almost every time it's got one of those NAND errors, it is an end problem. Someone play the Rest in Peace song that plays when someone dies from one of your roller coasters in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna try this a few more times off stream when I've got a little more time, and I think we know what the results are gonna be. We'll let them know what their options are. Then let's move on to the next one. We've got Paul. Another one with flashing volume buttons. I guess we'll open this back up. I'll need to... I accidentally suspended that instead of... There we go. Accidentally suspended the terminal prompt instead of closing the process altogether. Sometimes it doesn't want to control C though. You gotta control Z and close the... Yeah, just kill the process. It's probably waiting for something. Okay. The good news is we've been getting a lot more success emails telling us that they were successful restoring theirs at least, so the majority of people that have been getting their adapters have been having good luck, which not sure how accurate of an indication that can be taken as yet for the ratio of hardware versus software ones, but I try to be really careful and set the expectations worse than they may really be. Just because I don't want anybody getting too excited that theirs is certainly a software issue and that it can be bricked. No, there's still a fair chance that it is hardware. Alright, let's see if that's settled in nicely. Alright. Do we have restore mode? No. Alright, here we go. Same exact problem. Storage device did not become available, waiting for NAND. While we're waiting for that to finish failing, I guess, let's see if there's any other bricked ones that we can knock out while we're already set up for it. Yeah, unable to restore. Damn it. No, that seems like the only ones we got today for bricked. So, today, 0 for 2. I don't like it. But it is what it is. Let's get all this disconnected. I'll try a few more times on his too, of course, but that is usually the damning error. You know what would have been great is if Apple had at least acknowledged and offered in-store repair and restore options for these bricked ones. That way, by now, any of the ones that are still bricked or that we would have gotten in, we could certainly say it's a hardware issue if Apple hasn't taken care of it or won't take care of it for you by now, but we live in a world where we gotta figure it out for them. All that jazz. Alright, I think that is all for the bricked ones. We'll put this away. And let's see if we can't fix something else. I'm so sorry, I didn't even change the name on the screen there. That was Paul's bricked HomePod. Prior to Paul's HomePod, we took a look at Matt's HomePod there. Neither of which, unfortunately, we were able to restore. But let's now move on to Eric. And let's shoot them an email too so they can watch. All right. This isn't the first one they've sent to us, and it probably won't be the last, based on how many they've got. Here's the HomePod. I believe this is another case of no power. Let's double check. Would you looky there? All right. Let's get that thing a new diode and some new filters while we're at it. That one was extra sticky. Here we go. Beautiful. And there's our 46K dated diode. And no one's surprised it has failed. I'm sorry, I think it's funny. Because I know she's not really upset. Well, I know she's upset. I know she's okay, though. But the tantrums that kid throws over the smallest things, and she's not even 2 yet. Oh, Greg. Yeah, I figured you were watching, Greg. Yeah, you are all good to send that if you want to right now. You got the right number, of course, and I'll text you back after our stream, yeah? No worries here. And we've got Eric's HomePod fix. Quite nice. Alright. Let's see who's next. We've got Leaf with, I believe, another no power pod here. Let's see.
I'm having trouble connecting to the
Another saved HomePod.
Check the home app.
Alright, give me a second,
I'm
folks.
having trouble.
I'm gonna shoot a couple of emails here and then we'll open up the next HomePod. Let's see. Actually, I think this is Eric's first home pod they've sent in to us. Oh no, no it's not. Definitely not. Okay, yeah, this is the Eric I'm thinking of. Okay, let's put that away. Let's shoot Leaf a message so they can watch. It has got the death farts, actually. Very good, very good. Maybe it can have a competition with Alex in the chat there. See who can see who can make the stinkier death fart. Alright, that is definitely not going anywhere. Oh! You ever have 7 pounds of speaker drop on your gut? I guess a kid's one way to have that happen too. Oh, there we go. Let's get this turned on. Looks like the power cable did a little funny business over there. I'll see if I can't massage that out. Should turn on. Yep. And we should get a pretty loud pop out of it once we wake it up. Yeah, that is a pop. All right, we will get this apart. We will evaluate the subwoofer's condition and anything else that might have gotten blown up along the way. And then we will replace those capacitors that stopped filtering our DC voltage. Oh, this one is stuck on there. Oh, jeez. All right. Could they have gone with anything stickier? Well, I guess they could have gone with something more solid and less friable. Could be worse. Jeez, this whole HomePod just does not want to come apart, huh? Oh yeah, but the basket pops right off. How funny is that? Yeah, more screws that are just absolutely hammered in there. Yikes. Even with the electric driver, that is rough. How's our woofer? Looks good, smells good. Yeah. The woofer survived. Round of applause for Leaf here. They got to it before it roasted their subwoofer. Alright, you think we can do these 4 in the next hour and a half? Oof. You don't need the steadiest hands to do a lot of this. Oh, okay. We've got a good diode there. We've got a 5.2K there, so that needs not to be worried about. Is our 10 ohm resistor still 10 ohms? Let me roll off of my multimeter's leads here. Goodness. I'm so sorry, Mr. Multimeter. We got 10 ohms. Alright. Well, that could not be a simpler death part repair. We'll see how it works when we get it put all back together. Beautiful.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the home app. I'm having trouble.
Perfect. That's how it should sound. Alright. Jay is up next. HomePod repair request suddenly stopped working. No longer powers on. We'll give it a new diode. We'll give it some new filters. See if there's anything else it needs, but most likely that's it. Here's the guy. What have we got? Yes, indeed, the usual dead diode symptoms. Alright. Here we go. Jeez, it's not often I have to double tap those. What is my take on the future of HomePods? Good question. I've had a few people ask me something like that a few times. And my answer is usually something along the lines of, I don't see any reason for Apple to, much like the airport routers that they sold years back, I don't see Apple ever doing anything to these that's going to outright kill their existing functionality. That said, obviously we're gonna probably, even if they even get iOS 18, but 18 might be the last update that they get. I'm putting a big bet on that being the last one they get. And then moving forward, everything will just continue to work as it does pretty much today. In the wild event Apple somehow ceases to exist, then obviously anything server dependent would stop working. But AirPlay is all local, or at least with certain settings you can use AirPlay without any internet connection between, heck, even without a Wi-Fi router between you and your HomePod. They'll host their own ad hoc Wi-Fi network. But in any case, I'm not worried about what my HomePods will turn into the future, software-wise. I'm only concerned about keeping the hardware lasting as long as possible. And to that, I'm still looking for an aftermarket DIY amplifier that will fit inside of a HomePod and be able to power all of the speakers, so that in the future we can have the option to completely ditch the Apple guts in favor of a more repairable, more, open sourced option. And with that, I would like, one of the requirements, it needs to still have AirPlay 2 support, so that's right now pretty much the one thing holding us back from doing something like that today. We're this close. I think the company is called Aurylic. They have a lot of DIY amplifiers. The AirPlay 2, the one that they have out right now is it's millimeters too big, just barely. So soon we will have all the options in the world to keep these things going. Harry! Oh my goodness, that is one heck of a... Oh, wow. Thank you. The baby is fat and happy, and they're gonna get fatter and happier tonight thanks to you. Thank you. Yeah, and it's crazy. It's, if anything, right now, as expected, with the news floating around about being able to fix the software bricked pods, business is absolutely crazy right now. I totally do not mind it. The kid is costing more and more every day. The rent goes up. I get a pay raise and everything is as it were. It's like, what's the point? Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened the other day, too. It was absolutely embarrassing. So I've got my Mac, and serves me right for not having different machines for work and personal and personal work, But anyways, it was bound to happen with a Mac and an iPhone, and being in the Apple ecosystem and using a lot of that stuff for both work and personal. I had accidentally posted a link to one of my repairs to one of the group chats at work. And I mean, it wasn't a big deal. What had happened was my Mac had somehow copied the clipboard from another message I sent to somebody else. And when I was trying to paste a link to a document in our SharePoint, of course the clipboard wasn't actually copying what I was trying to copy. So when I went to paste it, I pasted it and hit enter without checking. And instead of sending a link to a helpful doc, it was pretty much just a message that was like, hey, you want to watch your HomePod get fixed? Here's a link to watch. And like most of the guys there know that I fix stuff in my free time. I'm kind of known around the office as the guy to go to when you need something soldered or you've got like hardware issues with anything. As a matter of fact, this morning I actually did a real quick live stream where we did a quick little modification to one of our NVIDIA carrier boards in order to get a cell modem card that was attached to it to detect a SIM card. There was a little ESD chip blocking the signal from the SIM card. So it was a quick and easy little in and out doodah, but it was kind of cool to also kind of turn around and use my amazing skills to do something a little different for my day job. Normally I'm sitting in front of a computer, staring at a computer screen and trying to fix some other software issue for one of our customers, or setting up a demo or testing some feature or new hardware integration, but occasionally I get the fun little project like that. But anyways, aside from the wild influx of business with the bricked repairs, the bricked repair news going out, it's been pretty much as busy as day one. Still have as many show up pretty much every day. And I thought perhaps I might have gotten sick of it by now, but I just like these things too much. And it's always so rewarding to get, hear back from people that get their stuff fixed back, and in a lot of cases it's like the first time that they'll have heard two of them working at the same time, and they're like, my mind is blown, this is amazing. And other times it'll be like, I didn't even realize my bass had like gotten that bad, it's so much better now, thank you, kind of stuff. And then the stories of like people and their kids, like people's kids get so happy when they get their Siri back. And before I had a kid, that probably wouldn't have meant as much to me, but you have a kid and it gives you a different perspective on things. Boy, did I used to kind of really hate being around kids. I hated hearing them. I just kind of didn't really want to be around them or have anything to do with them. And then like a switch flipped. And we were like, I love kids. Oh, well, not me, like, but anyways. Goodness. Now it's like now when I'm in public and I hear someone's like babies like laughing or crying, it doesn't like bother me or trigger my brain anymore. It's more like a parental reaction. It's really weird. And like joy that kids give off in public is like shared joy. And it used to just kind of be like a thing that I was like, yeah, whatever. I was once a wee happy lad myself. Oh, that reminds me of something. It was kind of like a sad question in hindsight that I asked my mom when I was a kid. I think I was like 13 or 14. But we were driving somewhere, probably to the grocery store. I looked out the window and I was looking at all the people driving by. I love people watching. Always loved watching people. And I noticed that like nobody was smiling. Everybody was just pretty much in their cars, just like stone cold looks on their faces. I was smiling. I was just happy to be alive. But I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, why isn't anybody else smiling? And she was like, well, just because. Not everybody has something to smile about all the time. Something like that. Damn, you should have seen my face when she said that. My smile went away. I think that was my first like moment where I kind of really felt like a genuine depression or a genuine sadness. Fast forward to today and you've got, YouTubes and TikToks of people doing all sorts of crazy stuff in their cars. Oh man, I didn't even ask you, Harry. How have you been? Ah, the most tedious part of the whole repair right here. I wonder if others share the same sentiment or if they find other parts harder. Tell you what, folks. From now on, I'll only charge $1 for the hardware repair, but I'm gonna charge, you know, $69, $79 to deal with that drawstring. That kid's been awfully quiet. They must be FaceTiming Grandma. Right. Awaken, 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 awaken. Hold up. Still won't turn on. Did we, oh boy, it's been a long stream. Did I even fix this? Did I did I get halfway through taking this apart and not actually do anything to it? If that's the case, I think this will be the last one, and we'll save those other two for tomorrow. Let's see. Let's just make sure it's not like a display or logic board issue really quick. No, I don't think we I don't think we actually fixed it. I think we just took it apart and put it back together again. That's what happens when I talk sometimes. My autopilot has failed me. Or maybe we did actually fix this and there's something else wrong. Oh boy. At least it's easier getting in the second time. I replaced the filters, but that's it. That's hilarious. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. because we had just done that other one that had death farts, and it didn't need a new diode. It had a perfectly fine diode dated 52K. Well, okay. If that's the case, I don't think we messed up that bad. I suppose we could try to fix those other two before we leave today. But if we make any more mistakes, that's it. We're calling it for the day. What was I trying to do when connecting it to the MacBook? Oh, we were trying to do the USB restore. So those two HomePods that we were plugging into our MacBook had the blinking volume buttons issue. So there's no way to really tell if it's a hardware issue with the logic board or just a software issue with the logic board without basically plugging it into your computer and trying to restore it. So that's what we were trying earlier with our computer. Unfortunately, for those two, neither of them were restorable. It appeared that they had NAND errors. In other words, the storage chip, for whatever reason, was not operating correctly, which is the most common kind of hardware failure that those logic boards experience. Alright, yeah, we got those filters. We never touched that diode. And there it is, 46K. Good grief. Here I am trying to tell myself I'm not tired. And yet my eyes are basically like squinted like I'm staring at the sun. I'm not tired. I can do it. Oh, I did pop the kid in the car and drug her to the office with me this morning. Had to go in to pick up that Jetson board. Figured might as well bring her with me and let her run around for a minute. We have a fish tank there and she, of course, gravitated immediately towards that. Gosh, and this kid is just so unbelievably photogenic and just so gosh darn cute. If I didn't respect her privacy, I would show you guys a whole bunch of photos of her. But I'll let that be her choice when she gets old enough, whether she wants photos of herself shared online or not. I'm trying to think if it's like purely just my parental, position that makes her so cute, or if it's that she's just like so freaking, oh man, what a Gerber baby. Check the ohm. What are we checking the ohms of? What are we checking the ohms of? We don't need to be checking no ohms here. We haven't got no ohms to worry about here. Are you talking about our little 10 ohm resistor here next to the subwoofer connector? Because if you are, we don't gotta worry about that guy. The only time we gotta worry about that guy is if those filters were bad. But for this one in particular, we only replaced those filters just out of preventative maintenance, just to keep them good, keep everything good and going. So, because we replaced those filters before any problems actually happened, that's essentially the only reason this resistor will blow up or have a problem. As a matter of fact, it's you're probably asking that because you saw me testing the 10 ohm resistor on that HomePod a few pods ago. And we were checking that because those filters were indeed bad. So I just wanted to make sure. There's two things that you have to look on that resistor if your filters are bad. Obviously, you want to visually inspect it to see if it looks okay, and you want to measure it and see if it still has 10 ohms. Now, both of those, because I have seen them look bad, but test fine, oddly enough, which probably just means they ran really hot, but didn't quite pop yet. So even if it looks bad and it tests okay, go ahead and replace it. And then obviously if it looks okay but it tests bad, replace it too. Not that I've ever seen that yet. Anytime that resistor's been bad, it's been very obviously blown up. Or at the very least, got a toasty essence to it. And we almost forgot a power supply screw there. I almost wonder if that resistor was originally put there purely for protecting the subwoofer against that DC offset. I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not quite smart enough to be able to say whether that's even possible or not, but what we usually see is either that resistor blows up from too much DC voltage because those caps went bad and the subwoofer is still okay, or sometimes the subwoofer gets blown up. But usually if the subwoofer's gone, that resistor is gone too. Fun stuff. What would be really nice, there are test pads all over the amplifier board. What I should come up with is like a 3D printed jig with, you know, little pogo pins in it, and have it set up so that all we need to do is just place the amplifier board down onto the test jig, and it'll power it up and take the measurements and basically immediately tell us what all is good and what all is out of spec. I would like to do that. But at the moment, my 3D modeling skills are absolutely not that good. Hell, I can barely tweak an OpenSCAD model. Oh man, I used to be pretty good at SolidWorks in high school, but unfortunately, I did not use or retain any of that knowledge. Most of it would probably come back to me if I spent the time and tried using it again. Oh, and then there's like Tinkercad. Tinkercad felt kind of awkward. I couldn't quite wrap my head around that. I mean, I get the basic concept, but to me it's kind of like trying to understand how an artist can paint something that looks good too. That's what it's a lot like to me with people that can 3D model things, be it any 3D modeling software that you use. And as a matter of fact, I think even further, it's a different degree or a slightly different kind of skill based on which 3D modeling software you're using. Of course, you know, like I said earlier, OpenSCAD is pretty much write math equations to generate a model, and then Tinkercad appears to be something like a basically add shapes and then subtract what you want away from it kind of thing, and like basically OpenSCAD but with a GUI where you use your mouse to create the shapes and then modify them. Oh man, and the way I explain it, sure, it sounds a lot simpler than it really is, and it probably is simpler than my brain makes it out to be for most people. But hey, everybody's got that thing with everything, right? I'll gladly pay somebody for their time to not figure all of that out and just say, I need this way, and then I get it. Much like how, you know, people send in a HomePod that they may be perfectly capable of fixing themselves, but they either don't have the tools or, you know, they don't have the time to really sit down and learn it as much as they may want to. Such is life. Autodesk Fusion. Is that a free one? I mean, sorry to ask the easily searchable question. If it's got a free trial, I'm willing to try it out, see if it's something I pick up on. Alright, that right there should work. Personal use nonprofit, yeah, that's the problem. At the very least, we'd be questionable in our use for that if we're designing HomePod parts with the intention of using it for our business or for sale. Because I'd love to, you know, obviously sell those to other people too and make it easier for others to diagnose and repair their own HomePod issues. Oh, hey, Jay's got power. Very nice, very nice, very nice. My neck is absolute ground beef right now. I think we are going to call this a stream for the day, folks.
I'm having trouble.
Alright. Well, and it sounds like our time is about up anyways. So, I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll